The old deterministic model of genetics, which held that we are passive victims of a fixed genetic blueprint, has been completely upended. Epigenetics, which translates to control above the genes, reveals that signals from our environment, our behaviors, and most importantly, our thoughts and emotions act as switches that turn our genes on and off. This means that the expression of our genes is dynamic and responsive. We are not hardwired for a specific destiny of illness or health. Instead, we are constantly participating in our biology. By changing our internal environment, the chemical landscape created by our feelings and perceptions, we can instruct our genes to produce proteins that promote health, vitality, and healing, moving from a state of pre-disease to a state of wellness. This is the science of becoming the master of your own genetic expression. Similarly, the notion that the brain is a static organ fixed after childhood is a relic of the past. Neuroplasticity is the living proof that the brain is malleable and capable of profound change throughout our entire lives. Every time we learn something new, practice a skill, or even think a thought, we strengthen specific neural circuits. Conversely, when we stop using certain circuits, they weaken and prune away. This is the neurological basis of habit, both good and bad. The incredible implication is that we are not stuck with the brain we have. By consciously directing our attention and energy, we can rewire our brain. We can break the hardwired programs of our past, those automatic, often negative ways of thinking, feeling, and reacting, and literally sculpt a new mind. This isn't just psychological, it's a physical restructuring of our neural architecture, forging new pathways that support the person we wish to become. While epigenetics and neuroplasticity explain the how of change within the body, the quantum model of reality explains the source of that change. At the macroscopic level, our reality appears solid and predictable, but at the subatomic quantum level, reality is a vast, unmanifest field of infinite probabilities and pure potential. Here, particles exist as waves of possibility until an observer, a conscious being, focuses attention and intention, causing this wave to collapse into a particle, a tangible event in our reality. This demonstrates a fundamental truth. Consciousness and matter are entangled. Our mind is not a passive bystander, it is an active participant in shaping our world. When we are solely focused on the familiar reality of our problems and past conditions, the particle reality, we keep collapsing the same predictable experiences. But when we learn to shift our consciousness away from the known, we can connect to this quantum field of all possibilities and call forth a new reality. This new scientific paradigm provides a framework for understanding phenomena that conventional medicine often dismisses as miracles or anomalies, such as spontaneous remissions. These are not magical exceptions, but demonstrations of these very principles in action. They occur when an individual, often through a profound shift in consciousness, changes their internal state so dramatically that they alter the biological expression of their body. By investigating these cases through the lenses of epigenetics, neuroplasticity, and quantum physics, we see a coherent picture: a person who changed their mind, neuroplasticity, which changed their body's chemical signals, epigenetics, by connecting to a field of potential that exists beyond their current circumstances, quantum. This challenges the mechanistic view of the body and empowers us to see that our thoughts, emotions, and beliefs are not ephemeral. They are the very tools of physical transformation. At the heart of every great transformation is the awakening to an internal intelligence, a guiding force of greater wisdom and order that exists within each of us. This is not an external savior, but the voice of our own subconscious mind, our autonomic nervous system, and our connection to the unified quantum field. Different traditions may call this a spiritual awakening, a connection to source, or the higher self. In practical terms, it is a deep, intuitive knowing that transcends logical reasoning. Accessing this intelligence requires us to quiet the external noise and the constant chatter of the analytical mind. Through practices like meditation, mindfulness, and heartfelt introspection, we can slip past the ego, the identity tied to our past, and attune ourselves to this inner guide. This connection becomes our moral and intuitive compass, providing clarity, fostering resilience, and revealing that challenges are not obstacles, but opportunities for growth orchestrated by a wiser part of ourselves. The transformative journey always involves a critical turning point, the realization that we have been active, albeit unconscious, participants in creating our current state of health and life. This is not about self blame, but about embracing radical responsibility. It begins with recognizing how prolonged stress, living in constant survival mode, fueled by the hormones of anxiety and fear, literally trains the body to be sick. We must introspect and see how our habitual reactions, our negative thought loops, and our lifestyle choices have been contributing to our dis-ease. This realization is the genesis of true empowerment. It shifts our identity from being a victim of external circumstances to being the creator of our experience. We move from hoping for change to taking conscious, deliberate ownership of our inner world. Transformation is a process of personal reinvention, and the most powerful tool for this is mental rehearsal. This is far more than positive thinking. It is the deliberate, focused practice of building a new future in your mind before it manifests in your life. Just as an athlete visualizes a perfect performance, you must mentally rehearse being the new you. Vividly and with immense sensory detail, see yourself already in possession of your desired traits, health, or life. Feel the emotions of that future reality now, the joy, the gratitude, the freedom. This process of living in the future memory does two profound things. It prunes and prunes the brain. Through neuroplasticity, the repeated fire of these new thoughts and feelings wires new neural networks, making the envisioned future neurologically familiar and attainable. It signals new genes. The elevated emotions like gratitude and love generated during rehearsal send new epigenetic instructions, preparing the body for the new reality as if it is already here. This bridges the soul and the cell, aligning your biology with your destiny. The culminating, most potent step is the synchronization of thought and emotion. Thinking of a new future without feeling it is just fantasy. Feeling elevated emotions without a focused thought is just a fleeting mood. But when you marry a clear, focused intention, a new thought, with a elevated, heartfelt emotion, a new feeling, you create a powerful coherence between your brain and heart. This coherent state is the key that unlocks the door to the quantum field. It tells the universe and your body that you are truly ready for change. By consistently practicing this alignment, you are no longer just changing your mind, you are programming your body down to the genetic level to match the future you have chosen. You move from being a passive bystander in your life to being the active creator of your reality, transforming your life from the inside out.